Is there really any need for me to introduce myself here? Well, the answer to that question is no. Not only because I already have done in my previous review, but because it's time to hand over the torch to Adam Hunter, Axel Stone and Blaze Fielding in Streets of Rage. Released in 1991 for the SEGA Genesis or Mega Drive depending on where you are in the world. I'm sure many people are fully aware of this title as it was very popular back in the day. If you've just come home from a hard day at work and you want to release your stress, then this is the game to play. Side-scrolling beat-em-ups like this really are the true classics. You can also play this game with a friend if you wish in cooperative mode. Basically you work as a team throughout the game until you reach the end, and then you decide the outcome between yourselves. One of you answers yes, one of you answers no. The outcome is dependent on that decision. You could break the partnership up with a fight to the death. In single player mode though, it's slightly different and I will explain that later on. Streets of Rage also isn't just about punching. There are a variety of weapons, as you can see the beer bottle. You can choose between 3 different characters in Streets of Rage, each of which has their own profile and personal statistics. They are noticeable when playing the game with multiple characters. Here we're playing as Adam Hunter against one of the bosses in this game, a bodybuilder in this case, and his strength is shown. I tend to make a habit of leaving my special until the end of the level if I can. And as you can see in this game, it's a basic special for all characters, unlike the sequels where each individual character has its own special attack. It's a very interesting special attack here because you don't get hurt by it, but everyone else around is toast. And what's a side-scroller without a bottomless pit to throw your enemies into? This has to be one of my favourite parts of this game, along with the later level which we'll get to shortly. An original Streets of Rage cartridge shouldn't be too hard to come by nowadays, which is more that can be said about its sequels, which I'll be looking at soon. Fear not if you don't have the SEGA Genesis or Mega Drive system to play it on, as this game along with its sequels are also available on SEGA Ultimate Collection, also known as Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection in the United States, which is available for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Another compulsory feature every SEGA Genesis or Mega Drive game had to have was the factory setting and moving platforms in the opposite direction. Each of the characters make their own interesting sound whenever they die. In general, the sound effects in this game play well, including the musical soundtrack, and I don't see any problems where audio is concerned. Obviously there are limits to the amount of type of enemies you can fight, so some are identical. These machines here can not only flatten you, but they can also flatten your enemies. That's a very nice touch. It's interesting how the police car got into the factory in the first place, really. Here's one of the levels I was talking about earlier, Showdown on the skyscraper elevator. Similar to the bottomless pit, you can throw your enemies off the elevator and they're never to be seen again. Of course, no one ever said anything about that not happening to you, and I found this really funny. Yes, I would like some backup here, but yeah. This is the final level, and we've made our way to the final boss who attempts to trick you. This time he failed, and selecting yes will only transport you back to round 6. And of course, I did find out the hard way back in the day. This boss is pretty tough. I did put on a shameful display here and had to use one of my continues, but at least he's history now.